What's going on, Sooner Nation? Today we got to talk about a couple things happening in the transfer portal for Oklahoma. One of them we touched in a previous video, but I know you guys are asking questions about Dominic Williams, the transfer defensive lineman out of TCU, and I kind of just wanted to kind of give you what we know, but then where Oklahoma needs to go next, because if Oklahoma doesn't land that guy, you have other options. And before we dive into it, guys, I want to hear from y'all. So make sure you're joining the discussion, jumping down in the comments below, and giving me your thoughts as always. Yes, I'm not wearing glasses today. My glasses broke, so I'm sorry if I squint a little bit, guys. I have a hard time seeing. Everything looks a little blurry, but we're going to get through it. We're going to power through it. So we'll start with Dominic Williams, because that's what you all are showing up for. That's what everybody wants to know about. Dominic Williams, if you guys remember, visited Oklahoma along with Jermaine Lole, who Oklahoma actually landed. And a lot of people thought Oklahoma was going to land Dominic Williams. Long story short, ends up leaving campus, goes to Texas. The good news for Oklahoma fans is he left Texas uncommitted. So he's on his way to, well, dare I say it, it's going to hurt a little bit, the Missouri Tigers. And then supposedly he's going to LSU. And I say supposedly because Missouri has kind of caused Oklahoma problems in the portal and on the recruiting trail, but mainly the portal. And wouldn't Missouri for so love it to kind of stick it to Oklahoma and Texas and get a guy like Dominic Williams out of the transfer portal, one of the best defensive line prospects? That's kind of where we're at right now, right? And kind of trying to outbid Missouri might be a tall task. Although, one thing that I've heard is Oklahoma's NIL offer is very competitive, and they're going to potentially add on to it depending on what kind of offer he comes back with from a different school. Oklahoma is willing to pony up and play the NIL game. I mean, it's just as simple as that. And for a guy like Dominic Williams, a guy that could come in and make your defensive line elite, yeah, like you're going to pay for that. The question is can you withstand Missouri? And then he's got to go to LSU, where LSU is really hurting for defensive linemen. And so they might decide to pony up as well. So the question is, where's Oklahoma going to go if for some reason you don't get Dominic Williams? And I think there's a couple prospects out there. They hit the portal a couple days ago, or maybe even a week ago. One of them is even a guy that we talked about in the winter cycle, and that's Simone Barrow Jr. If you guys remember talking about Simone Barrow Jr., when we actually were talking about Spencer Brown, he was graded out as a 72.2 defensive grade, run defense at 72.3, pass rush at 74.3, but he had a coverage grade of 51.5, so not super great there. He played a little over 500 snaps, but he was ranked as the 10th best interior defensive lineman in 2023 and the 15th best in 2022. And when you look at him, like, not as big as the Dominic Williams or the Loles or even the guy next that we're going to talk about, but Barrow Jr. is a guy that you can immediately plug and play, and he would make a difference in the 3T that this defense of mine wants to run. So Barrow Jr., 110 total tackles, 44 solos, 66 assists, 18 and a half tackles for loss. So obviously you can tell he gets back in that backfield, gets 10 and a half sacks. He had one pass breakup, one fumble recovery with 2 forced fumbles. So he's a guy that goes back there and makes plays. But his counterpart, and this would be the guy that I would think you'd really want to land, is Derek Harmon. At 6'5", 320 pounds. Again, just a really beefy dude, a guy that could really come in and play nose tackle. Not sure if he starts over Dejon Terry, because Dejon Terry is just really good. But he had a 78.4 defensive grade, 81.1 on the run defense, 72.3 on the pass rush, and a 62.3 in the coverage. So Derek Harmon is a guy that would probably come in and I'm not going to say be at Dominic Williams level, because Dominic Williams has got a lot of potential athletic upside, but he's right there, guys. Harmon is right there. So Oklahoma, I don't know if they have a visit set for Harmon, but I do know that they were working on getting one with Barrow Jr. from what I was told and heard from somebody else. So it'll be interesting to see if they can land him there. But Harmon, looking at his production, 71 total tackles, 24 solo, 6.5 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks. He had 2 pass breakups, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 forced fumble. So again, this is a guy that can come in, slide in at the nose tackle, and help you make a difference there. And when you've already got Devon Sears playing really well, Bryson Halton, you've even got Marcus Strong and Ashton Sanders in that room, plus DeJoun Terry, David Stone, Jaden Jackson. You get one of these guys, and you're potentially going from a good defensive line to potentially an elite defensive line, because you're also adding in Lole in this transfer portal cycle as well. And we all know Lole had high production, not only when he was at Arizona State, but at Louisville as well. Now, you got Branson Hickman at the center position. And so if Oklahoma was to look at any other offensive lineman, I would think you would have to look at a tackle, right? Because Spencer Brown came in and he hasn't exactly been what you wanted him to be. But I'm not sure Oklahoma is going to look at an offensive tackle just yet, especially with knowing that, hey, like, you got a really good chance to maybe land one more interior defensive line guy. So don't give your hopes up there. I know some people were potentially wanting 2 offensive linemen, but I think you're probably just going to end up with Branson Hickman. Maybe even try to slide Joshua Bates over to a guard position and see if maybe one of these other guys can play a tackle, right? So we'll kind of see. Bill Bedenbaugh does a really good job at kind of tinkering with that offensive line, figuring out who's going to plug and play where. So I'm sure he'll put out a good one there. So you lost Josiah Wagner in the transfer portal. We talked about that. Texas has had a couple guys at the corner position hit the transfer portal. I've seen kind of people throw around the names. I don't think Oklahoma goes after another DB. And we talked about it in the Josiah Wagner video, right? That room's deep. I don't think you need any more talent there. The running back rumor's been around, but you've got Javonte Barnes still on, and I don't think Javonte Barnes is portaling. So I don't think you need another running back. I think Oklahoma's pretty set with what they have. But interesting enough, at the running back position, if you guys remember, Trey Bradford was at LSU, transferred to Oklahoma, then transferred back to LSU. He's in the transfer portal once again. So that's interesting news there. But I want to hear from y'all. So make sure you guys are joining the discussion. Jumping down in the comments below and giving me your thoughts, whether it's on Dominic Williams visiting Missouri, or even potentially visiting LSU, or if it's on any of these other 2 guys, whether it's Barrow Jr. or Derek Harmon. Hey, you know what? Additionally, if you guys have made it this far in the video and you have not already, make sure you hit that like and you hit the subscribe button. I need to get new glasses, so any little bit that you guys can help me out helps. Oh, and one more thing. I haven't done this in a while. YouTube wants you guys to watch one of these 2 videos, so make sure you guys tune in there as well.